Hello and greetings, fellow StarCrafters. PGL Milncraft here, coming back with a 1 versus 1 between SlayerSGanzi. Hello and greetings, fellow StarCrafters. PGL Milncraft here with a 1 versus 1 between SlayerSGanzi, the blue Terran player right here, and oh geez, I'm getting way thrown off of my colors. The teal, here we go, the teal Terran player right here, and the blue Protoss player whose name is in Korean, but this is MVPGenius. MVPGenius is a very good player. He plays regularly in the GSL. He's qualified in 3 open seasons, which you can hear anybody talk about the open seasons. It's incredibly difficult to qualify for those because in the open seasons you have to play against basically like all these sorts of players who are like really close to being programmers. And you have to compete in this gigantic match, and only the top, I believe it's the top 16, actually get to play again in the up and down matches to be able to try to qualify for Code A. And it's very difficult, and he's qualified successfully doing that. MVPGenius also is famously known for having beat MVP. He was one of the people who knocked out MVP out of Code S and into Code A, which MVP is back in Code S, by the way. But he did actually MVP. Well, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but in the current GSL season, definitely watch the games involving MVP. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's available at GOM TV. You can definitely watch it. Ganzi it says I am Ganzi, but he's a member of Team Slayers. SlayerSGanzi is normally his name. I'm not sure why he's I am. I'm fairly certain that he hasn't switched to Incredible Miracle. Incredible Miracle, of course, being the team that MVP is on. But I suppose it's possible that he's switched that. I did check the Wikipedia on him, and Wikipedia, it doesn't say it says he's still a member of Team Slayers. He hasn't done particularly well at any major tournaments, but I mean he is on Slayers. Slayers is a really good team, has a lot of good Terrans on it. It was created by Boxer, and so naturally a lot of players are on that. But we can go ahead and talk about this game. This game is from the FXOopen, and and then we do see the probe go ahead and scouted the Terran player the correct direction. He ran straight to him. And the Protoss player is actually going for a 1-gate expansion. If he is able to hold this expansion, he is definitely going to be ahead. We see that the Terran player, Ganzi, is not in fact going for a 1-Rex expansion. He could be possibly going for a 1-Rex. Oh, he's getting a reactor and a barracks. So I think that Ganzi is going for an early push, Marine Marauder, or possibly just a lot of Marines. I doubt it's going to be a lot of Marines, though, because that tends to lose to Stalkers. But, oh wow, I got the build order wrong. Oh, my mistake. He actually get Nexus first. Wow, that's really, really, really ballsy to actually go Nexus first, especially on a map like Metalopolis. He's going to want to chrono boost a lot of Zealots out. He's even building a Zealot? Okay, there we go. Yeah. He's going to be chrono boosting a lot of Zealots out because this push that comes from the Terran player is going to be extremely scary because he went for Nexus first, and look at how wide open. Look at how wide open that is. There's no way you can force field them out from attacking your natural expansion. So he's gonna have a heavy economy early on, but given a proper push from Ganzi, he's just going to lose. Yep, we do see Marine Marauder. In fact, Marauders are getting slow. He's going to have a lot of Marines out because he can build them twice as fast, of course, with the reactor. And he's going to build a good size of forces. He's going to march across the map, and he's going to deal a lot of damage, if not possibly, killing his opponent. Now we do see 2 Stalkers coming out. He still has chrono boost, so he could be chrono boosting these Stalkers if he wanted to. He also has about 400 minerals, so I'm kind of surprised why he's not putting down. Oh, there we go. I was going to say putting down a couple more gateways. Oh, it looks like he's just queuing up. Where did he spend those minerals on? I guess he just built a couple of buildings. But he's definitely going to have to hold these forces with relatively small amounts of defense because he, went ahead and got his Nexus first. Now, probably Ganzi should not be moving out with quite this small of a force. You see 2 Stalkers and a Zealot, and that actually, I think, properly micromanaged, especially with these 2 new units coming out, will actually beat Ganzi's force. So Ganzi might be waiting for Marauder and 2 more Marines to be able to go ahead and push into his opponent. He should also, I think, probably he'd want to build. It would be do well to try to start a bunker right about here, just so he'd have a good fallback position. He doesn't necessarily have to keep getting nipped at the heels by the stalkers. Because really, what he needs right now are tons of marauders to deal with the stalkers. Because the Marines can handle the Zealots just fine with their high DPS. Because of course Marines fire so quickly and deal so much damage, and of course there is no way that MVPGenius is going to have any sort of good armor coming out for his zealots anyway. Ooh, we do see a huge group of SCVs here. It's possibly starting a bunker, but certainly most of these SCVs are here just to take hits for the Marines and Marauders. And we're going to see a big force here. The question is what's going to happen at this force right now? Yep, we do see a bunker going down that he tried to start and failed. There we go. He's just going to keep moving his forces around. We see probes coming out for MVPGenius. He knows that this is a dire situation. And now these bunkers, not only are the bunkers, if they complete, incredibly effective at keeping your opponents there, but they also block Zealots from being able to come in. They act as a little mobile wall. And so I think he's going to set his stalkers up right now, and is going to. I thought he was going to move his stalkers up there to take out the SCV's building, but it looks like he's just going to go ahead and engage. Ganzi's going to go ahead and hide behind the bunkers and keep on fighting, trying to deal as much damage as possible with the Marauders and the Marines. However, the Zealots are able to sneak in through the corners of the barracks and deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile, the stalkers are firing from behind. The Zealots are taking a ton of the damage, but the stalkers seem to be dealing a lot of damage as well, and it looks like that. Looks like MVPGenius is just slightly ahead of his opponent. He's actually warping in stalkers and not damage-dealing units. Stalkers are more long-term because they use energy, which shows how confident he is in winning this battle. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and take out this bunker, which is only one that's going to finish. Meanwhile, it looks like Ganzi's going to be able to snipe one of the sentries, which is always good because sentries cost 100 energy, 100 gas rather, and they have 100 energy almost. 65 that he was able to snipe out and deal a lot of damage. Energy, of course, being, I mean, I guess I would say the third resource, but there's a lot of resources in StarCraft. You know, there's supply, time, I don't know, any number of other resources, but energy is certainly something that's incredibly important. You know, you can't just waste energy because sentry energy is useful for so many things. Meanwhile, we see Ganzi putting up a couple of bunkers. He wants to be secure from any sort of counterattacks from a Protoss player. Meanwhile, if we look at the income tab, we see that it looks like the income tab is relatively close. The number of harvesters is relatively close, which is made up for the fact by the fact that Ganzi has, of course, being the Terran, he has mules that he can drop, which make up for the extra income, which is why his mineral income is so high and why his gas income is not quite that high. Meanwhile, we see a factory and an engineering bee going down on the part of Ganzi. It looks like he's probably going to be getting weapons level 1, and the factory, I would say, most likely is for most likely for medevacs, because he just wants to be able to get medevacs, and of course you need a factory in order to be able to starport. He's getting 2 more gas, which shows that he's trying to catch up. He's also getting combat shields, and meanwhile, it looks like he's holding out the watchtower, which that Marine's going to be able to slide away. Oh, nope. Looks like he's going to get sliced in half. Oh, poor Marine. Look at his 2 little parts there. It's like Darth Maul at the end of episode 1. Meanwhile, the rest of Ganzi's forces are kind of scatterbrained all over. They're looking for pylons, which is always a smart thing to do against Protoss. You always want to be able to be checking for pylons to make sure that they know what they're doing. Meanwhile, he's trying to retake the watchtower. However, we see a lot of forces from Ganzi moving in. There is no way that these troops are going to escape. They're just going to have to hide out in the back. But it looks like he was able to snipe. Was that... I'm not sure if that was a probe or if that was a sentry. I think that was just a probe, actually. So all he sniped was a probe and a zealot for all of his troubles, and lost 2 marauders and 3 marines. Not exactly the best of trades in the world, but it does look like looks like MVPGenius is going to go ahead and move out here. Yeah, he's building a pylon, so it looks like he wants to move in. Now, his opponent does have 2 bunkers, and he's moving SCVs out ready to repair the bunkers. But the real strength of bunkers lies in the fact, look at all those sentries, and the real strength of bunkers lies in the fact that you can repair them, and what you can do with a bunch of sentries is actually just force field them, which is why, like, Protoss players, have you ever heard of the 6 gate? The 6 gate is a heavy sentry-based attack that's designed to get past bunkers by force fielding them and preventing repair, which is, I mean, like, this isn't a 6 gate, obviously, it's a, you know, delayed. I don't think he has 6 gateways, but he has a number of gateways. Actually, he might have 6 gateways by this point, but anyway, he's got a lot of sentries, a lot of stalkers, and it looks like this force is very scary, actually, and 6 new zealots coming in, so he does in fact have 6 gateways, and he's going to go ahead and move in. He's going to force field all the bunkers to prevent repair. He's got Guardian Shield up to lower the damage as well, and yep, we see the force fields coming off. These force fields also have the benefit of locking in any of the Terran units so that the Zealots can go ahead and just slice them apart. There aren't any Zealots on this side. They're all fighting over on this side, but they're going to slide over, I think. And it looks like MVPGenius is dealing a lot of damage. Those Zealots are still all alive, and they're all in full health. Oh, wow. It looks like he's dealing a lot of damage. And he's just slicing through those SCVs that are up front trying to take the hits. Now he's picking off the medevacs as well, and it looks like Ganzi is going to go ahead and just GG out of this game. He was able to be taken out. Very nice transition into a 6-gate up from the part of MVPGenius. He was able to just get a bunch of sentries, make sure their energy built up, and then able to push out and do a devastating push against Ganzi. Very nice job on the part on MVPGenius' part, and he was able to beat Ganzi just like he beat MVP. Well, I mean, not the same style, but close. Anyway, this is PGL Milncraft signing off. See you guys moving on to game number 2.